Mayor Rocio Treminio-Lopez. It's great to see you today.
Thank you, Aisha. Thank you so much for this invitation. I'm honored to be talking to you this morning.
Well, I'm honored to be talking to you because you know what? You are a history maker. And this is Women's History Month. And one of the great things about the history of Prince George's County is that we've had a lot of women first. And you became the first Latina elected as mayor, not just in Prince George's County, but in Maryland. And that happened just a short while ago, back in 2015. How does it feel to have broken such a tremendous barrier?
Well, let me tell you, I never intended. I wasn't sure. I ran at first as a council person. I never in a million years imagined that I will be taking that huge step in Brentwood. I did not imagine either that I will become the first Latina mayor in the state of Maryland. Recently, I received a citation from the governor stating historically that I am the first Latina mayor in the state of Maryland, which makes me proud. And not only for me, but for the Latino community, the immigrant community that are coming to this country. I came here in 1992. I was only 15 years old, and I just want to give back somehow to the community. That's why I got involved. That's why I wanted to be part of it. And the only way to be part of it was to getting involved in politics, local politics. I never knew other than actually working with different agencies that work for immigrant families. But being in office has helped me to get to know people like you, people different offices that are supporting our community, that are providing resources to the community in general. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. And we have worked so well together. And I appreciate your leadership. I appreciate the fact that you invite me into your community, into your home, really, because I know it feels like home to you. And we've been able to tackle some really important issues around domestic violence, around poverty issues that lead to crime. And, just having someone like you as a partner means so much to me. But I know it wasn't really easy, right? As women, we are always fighting the battles to prove our worth and to make sure that people know that we are worthy of the positions and the jobs that we take on. Can you talk a little bit about your road to getting where you are? Did you face any barriers? Did you face any pushback, and how you overcame those?
I have to be honest. I did have to prove a lot of people that I was worth enough to be representing a community, because I had many times I was finding as oh, you only representing the Latino community. I was like, no, I'm representing all. It's just that stigma that some people think that just because I'm Latina, I'm looking over the Latino community, but they think they sometimes they don't notice that the community is fast growing in this region. Just in Brentwood itself, we have 50% of the population here is Latino. So, and of course, it's going to be more issues. Of course, it's going to be more needs that they need to be filled. So it might feel that way, but once you understand that, the community that you're serving is so diverse, and they need someone that represents, someone that they can look after, that is important too, because as you know, this county has majorities are minorities in the whole county. So, but the Latinos have been pushing and growing in this area, and they need representation. So I felt like, somehow I'm representing that community, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be looking for the rest of the community, looking after what their needs are, especially when it comes to domestic violence, when it comes to bullying, when it comes the need of resources in the community. We all have the same needs. We all
Absolutely.
have the same needs. The only limitation is like sometimes we don't have the access because there are lack of sometimes it's not intended. I want to think that way, that it's not intended. It's just that we were not prepared to receive this amount of people at once. So and maybe our agencies might need some more assistance when it comes to serve the immigrant community.
So you've talked a lot about the importance of representation as a Latina woman, as a person of color, as an immigrant. Why is it so important to have these different perspectives at the table?
It is important because the moment you place someone that can communicate, can relate to the same issues that we face as an immigrant, it's easier to be able to understand what are the needs are and how we can work to supply those needs or to help people in that regards. So I think it's always good to get the different perspectives. Yes, we need to come to this country and adjust to what we encounter here, but that doesn't mean that this can be a system that we can or understand where we're coming from. A lot of issues come with understanding, and you probably know this best, understanding what the laws are, how these laws protect us, how these laws are for everybody, not just for one single group. So at the moment you understand and you put people that bring that perspective, we don't have to be afraid to speak up. We don't have to be afraid to be telling someone what's going on. So that's why it is important. I know we both have talked about a lot of domestic violence. So and that issue is rooted in our communities, especially well, I would say generalized that's an issue in all the different races that is happening.
Yes.
But sometimes we don't talk about those things. It's either cultural, it's not permissible. The laws that in the countries that we might be coming from are not the same that the ones that we have here. We might not have the same rights. So but when we come here, we don't know about that. But when you have someone, when you have that person that speak our language, or they are, or maybe they have the same accents to us, because even though we speak the language, we will feel more comfortable talking to someone in our own language. So, and when you start normalizing that issue, that yes, we have someone who speaks Spanish, who speaks French, who is able to connect with you, it is important. And then you're gonna be helping families to open up, to be
Yes.
able to tell. And I think that statistics has shown that when you have somebody relating to you issues that are there, not just because, oh, yes, we need to take your report, but then it's a store somewhere else, nobody does a follow-up. But when you actually show that you care, people will be, you will be finding that those people get close, and they see you as oh, I am able to be represented.
Absolutely.
This person represents my values, my goals, my so and that's what we see, when we look at people that we follow, somebody that is there, that is looking sometimes like us. And let me tell you, we come in all colors, and you know that.
Yes.
So it is
Absolutely.
important to have that connection.
Absolutely. And I appreciate what you've just said, because in my office, I am intentional about recruiting people at every level, whether it's attorneys or paralegals, or victim witness coordinators that can relate to the diverse community that I serve, because I think it makes all of us better. It makes all of us, I mean, we may not understand everything that someone has gone through, but when you have those kind of conversations at the table in your office, you are more sensitive, more understanding, and then to be able to partner with people like you to address issues in your community from a way that is culturally competent is so important, because we want to get across a message, but the people who we're trying to get that message to, they have to be able to receive it. And so you've been a tremendous partner with us. And so I really thank you for your leadership in helping us to get out our message. When I came into this office, I formed a multicultural commission because I thought it was important for me to be able to reach people. Because as you mentioned, we have a lot of Hispanics and Latinas who live here. But we also have a lot of African immigrants and Asian immigrants and Caribbean immigrants. Like my father immigrated to this country from Grenada. So, being first generation, I get it. And I also want those children, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, to feel like they can do anything, they can accomplish anything, and that even if your family might have a different accent, or they may dress differently, or cook different types of foods, or listen to different kind of music, that doesn't mean that you don't belong here. That doesn't mean you won't be successful. And that doesn't mean that you won't be the example at some point, right? And so you're quite that example. And so I know that you have a family and children. And so, like, what are some things that you hope for them growing up here?
Well, I have to say that the transition for those immigrant kids is difficult. I was one of them when I arrived to the United States. For the kids that are born here, what we talk to them is like you have to be able to help these new kids, the newcomers. You need to be able to identify that they struggle sometimes with trying to adapt to a new system. So always it's good to have that conversation, not limited only because this group doesn't belong to you because the lack of language access, or it's always like, have a combined a partnership, because at the end of the day, especially when you're working with youth, I mean, they have different way of seeing things, right? One of the
Mhm.
issues that we face almost every day at the schools is bullying. And how can we work with those kids too? How is part of education as well? Can we tell them, look, you come into a new country, these are the rules you need to adjust. This is what it means. So when you start talking about these things, and in the schools especially, with the parents, because sometimes I understand, like me, we have jobs to do, we have so many other things to do. So when do we find the right time to be talking to the youth?
Mm. Mhm. And that,
Because that's a start from home. But if those parents don't have the time, or those parents don't have the support resources that they need in order to help the child, so we're going to find adults that are going to be becoming aggressive, or they're going to be becoming less informed, because there's no guidance somehow at the house, and the resources that we have with the agencies sometimes are limited.
and Mayor Treminio-Lopez, I can tell you that I, I hear you, and that those same issues we find in with those who are born here in America, where they may be born into households where there's one parent there, or both parents are working around the clock to make ends meet because it is expensive to
Mhm.
live in Prince George's County and in this region. And oftentimes we do find ourselves, thinking, well, where's the family structure? Where is the guidance, the supervision? And what I realized is that we can't always blame parents because they're trying to make ends meet. They're trying to survive and take care of their children and make sure that there's a roof over their head. So you're right. We have to do more. We have to look at resources that we have, and how we're spending our money as government to really direct those resources to children and families who need our support. And so it's people like you. I know you're a mayor now, but it's people like you who I think get it. You get the total picture. So I'm curious about whether or not you want to stop at mayor, or if you maybe in the future may look at running for a different office and serving us
Well,
in a different way.
that's a great question. Yes, I think I have learned a lot in Brentwood. I have been able to meet different people, how the different agencies work, all levels, local level, state level. And now, thanks to my title and being the first Latina, I have been invited to nationwide events. And of course, I don't want to stop here. Of course, I want to bring more perspective of what we can offer to be a part of this region, like you say, the population is fast growing in this area, especially the Latino population. So we need representation. We're not trying to take your job. We're not trying to take no one's job. We're just trying to normalize a group of people that we are belong as well. So and with that it comes representation. We come more people like in your office. I know that you have Hispanic speakers there that are working, because I can see them around. You have been very active with the different agencies trying to make the message across. So, and I'm sure a lot of them are doing the same, but it, it, we need to limit to we don't have to limit to one or two people.
Right.
I'm sure you all the offices, they might have more than that, because the community demands that.
Yes.
And all the jobs that you do, and I really commend you for everything that you have done in connecting and being present. That's important too, because you cannot just come to the communities just once a year, or you show up. You need to be present. I think that's the reason that I've been in Brentwood for so long, 8 years, because I started as a council person. But it's because everybody, I think everybody knows me in my block,
Yes.
in my whole neighborhood. So they know who I am. They know where I live, what I do for living. So I'm very transparent when it comes to that, because you have to build that trust with our community. Because for many years, people were saying, "Oh, but when we only see elected officials when election time." Doesn't have to be like that. We need to
Right.
be showing up. We need to start getting back somehow to the community. I always say, because I understand. I can tell you, we don't have a lot of funding, but we always find ways to
Yes.
celebrate something, to be
Hmm.
able to connect, not leaving anyone outside. We have worked with the seniors, we have worked with the youth, so trying to give a little bit, so we can show them that yes, we care. It's not we trying. We all trying in this world, and we are giving our best.
Absolutely. And you've done a job. I hear nothing but great things about you, and I've seen nothing but greatness from you. You know, you made history, and now we're witnessing in our country, hopefully another maker in Judge Katanji Brown Jackson, who prayerfully will be the next Supreme Court justice. She will be the first Black woman to be a Supreme Court justice. Just a few years ago, we had another very first. We had the first Latina judge on the Supreme Court, Judge Sonia Sotomayor. And although I am not a Latina, I can tell you when she was nominated, when I heard her speak, when I read her body of work, I said, yes, like she can represent me. She understands, and her values are similar to mine. And I was incredibly proud, and I continue to be incredibly proud of her. I want you to talk about, like, how did you feel when Judge Sotomayor was nominated and confirmed? And tell me what to expect in terms of my feelings now as we witness history being made again.
Well, is that again? It's not just that because she's a Latina, but just the fact that we have women representing in this, like or honorable county executive. She made history as well in the county. That so it makes me proud that we more women are getting involved. And we are those that we get things done. We don't get no for an answer. So I think that Sotomayor, the new person that is coming on board, I'm sure that we try and we have to try, how to say, harder, because we not only have to demonstrate that we can do the job, but also that as a woman we have also something to say,
Mm-hmm.
and go beyond that stigma that with the weak. No, we're not. We just give us a challenge, and we're gonna work hard to make it happen. So that's why, I mean, as a whole, I feel very proud that more women are filling vacancies. They are filling other positions, that they are having a state's attorney. So why not? You understand? Why
Absolutely.
not? What makes us different? no, we need to be called at the table, and we have a voice.
Absolutely. And you have a very strong voice. And I'm so happy that you shared your voice with the community today and every single day. So, Mayor Treminio-Lopez, thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of Women's History Month. And I look forward to seeing you very soon.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.